This is the Louis T. Network.
There's a huge problem here. I've got a mic in my hand, a camera in my face, and nobody here to tell me to stop talking. This thing could get really ugly really fast. Look, don't watch me. Watch TV. But I see a red light blinking in front of my face. That probably means that I'm on TV. So guess what? Watch me. Welcome. I'm your host, Louis T, here on Pro Football Central Weekly, the Week 5 Tuesday edition. Thank you for joining me. Lot to get to. Need to wrap up Week 4. It was a wild, wacky, crazy week in the National Football League. A lot of surprises, a lot of things that I frankly did not expect to happen, happened. And I told you to look out for some of these winless teams. These offers, a couple of them got it done. Minnesota Vikings, off the schneid. Washington Redskins, off the schneid. So now we're down to 4 winless teams in the National Football League. 2 in each conference. Jacksonville Jaguars, Pittsburgh Steelers. In the AFC, in the NFC, New York Giants, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So only 4 remain, and then there were 4. So let's see how long it'll take these teams to get off the schneid. 2 of those winless teams aren't in action in Week 5, that being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, both on byes. So the Jacksonville Jaguars will have an opportunity in St. Louis to get off the schneid, and the New York Giants playing some family business against the Philadelphia Eagles. As a matter of fact, they're at home. Perfect time for them to get rid of that O and put a win in the win column. So we'll see if they can take care of that business. But I said this was a wacky week, and there were a lot of things that transpired in this week that I did not see coming. A few things that were a little disappointing, a couple that were a little off-putting, a couple of things that surprised me a little bit. The play of Matt Castle in Minnesota. Look, he played well, and I expected him to take this team to victory, but I didn't expect him to play as well as he did in that football game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got it done, folks. He got it done. And the question now begs to be asked, is he the new signal caller in Minnesota? Well, I told you last week that Leslie Frazier isn't going to let Christian Ponder go down without a fight. And so he's already come out and said, hey, if Ponder's healthy, he's the quarterback. The Week 5 starter, which the Vikings are on bye, so the Week 6 starter for the Minnesota Vikings will be determined by health. If Christian Ponder is healthy, he'll go. If he can't, then enter Matt Castle. And look, he's already gave himself a really huge boost in that quarterbacking situation in Minnesota. Now, look, the backup quarterback is always the fan favorite in every single town, except for towns where your quarterback is Tom Brady or it's Peyton Manning. Then maybe the backup quarterback is irrelevant. But in this particular case, the backup quarterback, as in many cases, is a fan favorite, and he's the guy that everyone probably wants to see take over this team because he played well, they scored points, they won the football game against the Pittsburgh Steelers over in London. And look, I'm not a Matt Castle supporter. I'm not a big Matt Castle guy. I feel like if you let him play 4 games, you'll get 2 stinkers and you'll get 2 mediocre performances, maybe 2 good performances. What I'm trying to say is that in the end, it will balance itself out, and Matt Castle will be what he is, which is a backup quarterback in this league. So you take it for what it is. You take it how you want to take it. I feel like either Christian Ponder's your guy in Minnesota, or you need to start looking for a new starting quarterback. But Matt Castle isn't that guy. But he played well. Take nothing away from Matt Castle. He played well, and he did something Christian Ponder has not been able to do in 2013. Lead the Minnesota Vikings to a victory. So big win for the Vikings. They get on the board. They're 1-3 on the season now. And you look at another quarterbacking situation, and this one, hey, who knew? Billy Ho. Welcome to the show, buddy. Billy Ho showed up, played good football at home in a divisional matchup versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Brian Hoyer got it done. And I stand corrected because I talked about this man last week and how everyone wanted to give him credit, sing his praises. He threw 3 interceptions versus the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. They won the football game, and he made some plays in that game, but he still turned it over 3 times. I can't allow that. I'm not a guy that's willing to overlook turnovers. You turn it over, a lot of times in this league, you will lose. Luckily enough for him, the Minnesota Vikings aren't a good team, and they turned it over themselves. Hence, the Cleveland Browns were able to go into Minnesota and still win. Now you go home against the Cincinnati Bengals team that's really good, that knows you very well, that can easily beat you if you want to beat yourself. They don't need help beating you. They're good enough to do that on their own. If you want to make mistakes and help them beat you, then you're going to lose. So I felt like Billy Ho had to stay mistake-free, play some solid football, manage the game, and that's exactly what he did at home versus the Cincinnati Bengals. He got it done at 26 of 38, no turnovers, 200 and some odd yards, couple of touchdown tosses. He played well. He managed the game. He took what was there. Whatever they gave him, he took it. If it wasn't there, he ate it, either took a sack or threw it away. He played good football. If he can do that, this Cleveland Browns team is a dangerous group because they play defense, they stop the run. Joe Hayden and that secondary isn't that bad. Joe Hayden is a baller. So you look at this Cleveland Browns football team and you say to yourself, if they have the right guy under center, this is a dangerous team. And in a wide open AFC North division that sees 3 teams, including this Cleveland Browns team, don't look now, but the Cleveland Browns are 2-2 along with the Cincinnati Bengals, who they beat 17-6 in week 4. And the Baltimore Ravens are 2-2 as well. And then the Steelers are bringing up the rear at 0-4. This thing is wide open in the AFC North. And so Billy Ho got it done. Way to go, Billy Ho. He's playing some good football in Cleveland, and they've got a renewed sense of hope in Cleveland, something that looked like it was lost after that Trent Richardson trade. So really surprised to see how well a couple of guys played in those situations. You look at another situation, and this is a really devastating blow to the Tennessee Titans. And, of course, I'm talking about Jake Locker. This Tennessee Titans team playing really good football. They were on the verge of blowing out the New York Jets in week 4 when midway through the third quarter, Jake Locker is hit by Muhammad Wilkerson and then hit again by Quentin Coples. He goes down immediately, does not move, is motionless on the turf. We know that he's not unconscious because we see the upper extremities moving. He's awake. He knows what's going on, but he's clutching the leg and he's not moving. And it was a sight in Tennessee that made a lot of fans, players, coaches of that organization cringe. That's their starting quarterback, Jake Locker, on the turf, not moving. And we didn't know what it was at the time. Turned out to be a hip. They brought out the cart. They brought out the stretcher quickly. They didn't waste any time, so that alarmed a lot of people as well. If you watch the game, that, to me, sent off bells that, hey, this is some serious stuff here. He's not moving, and they're bringing out the cart immediately. And so he probably told him, I can't move. I can't feel my hip. And they right away said, hey, bring the cart out, bring the stretcher. Let's get this guy to the hospital. They had him evaluated. He's okay. He had a strain in the hip, and he injured his knee. He's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So they dodged a bullet in one sense, but in that same breath, this team was 3-1, playing some really good football. The light bulb had came on, and Jake Locker was starting to get it as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. You hate to see this kind of thing happen. Now the question you ask yourself is, was that a dirty hit? Was that a dirty play by Quentin Coples? I've talked to several people who believe it was. And the thing that I have to caution people with this is, yes, it was late. Yes, it could have been avoided. But I don't think, when I think dirty play, I think of someone going out to do bodily harm to injure another player. I don't think Quentin Coples hit Jake Locker with the intent to injure him and get him out of this football game. Now, I could be wrong, but this hit didn't look malicious, okay? You know when you see a dirty play. This one just seemed like a guy that went a little bit above and beyond the call of duty. He went beyond the whistle, and he wasn't flagged, so that lets you know what the officials thought about this hit. I thought that he could have pulled up. He didn't have to hit Jake Locker, but he did. And you see defensive linemen, linebackers that get to the quarterback do this all the time. So what I want to caution everyone with is, hey, pump your brakes, relax. It's sort of the same stance that I had to realize when I looked at that DJ Swearinger hit. I was hard on DJ Swearinger. I thought that was a dirty hit. And I had a couple of people hit me up on Twitter, and a couple of people hit me up on messages and say, hey, look, it's football. Guys go down low all the time, just like DJ Swearinger did, and nothing happens. The player gets up, go back to the huddle. We think nothing of it. And I had to take a step back and say, you know what? You're absolutely right. How many times during the course of a football game does a player catch the football and a defensive back go straight for the knees, takes them down, and the tight end or the receiver or the back gets right up, jogs back to the huddle, 2nd down and 7, and we think nothing of it. And so I had to realize it's football. Things like that occur. There was nothing malicious or dirty about that hit. I'd love for guys to stay away from the knees, but you already can't hit basically chest up, because if it looks like it hurt and it's anywhere near the upper body, they're going to throw a flag. So guys are relegated to having to use techniques that are based on hitting down low. And so you can't fault guys. And so when I look at this play with Quentin Coples and Muhammad Wilkerson, no one's talking about the Wilkerson hit. Look, he hit him. Everyone's talking about Quentin Coples and that being the dirty portion of that play. How many times have we seen a quarterback get sandwiched that way and get up and we think nothing of it? It happens all the time. And so I'm less likely to call that a dirty hit. I don't think that was a play that Quentin Coples intentionally went after Jake Locker with the intent on hurting him. He just wanted to hit him, let him know, hey, we're here, we're going to be around. And he got there, he felt like, hey, I got a free shot in the quarterback, I'm going to take it. He did. It resulted in Jake Locker not getting up off the turf, and that's a tough blow for a Tennessee Titans team that was playing some extremely good football. It hurts me because I love to see young players get it, and Jake Locker got it. He was starting to get it. No, he wasn't starting to get it. He got it. He wasn't turning over the football. He was getting out of the pocket. When he needed to run, he ran. If it wasn't there, hey, I'm an athletic quarterback that has wheels. I'm going to use them. And he was starting to understand it's not hard to play this quarterback position in the National Football League. Don't turn it over. Give your players a chance. Take what the defense is giving you. And if all else fails, run. And he was doing that. And so it really pains me to see this guy go down at this time when his team is playing such good football, but more importantly, he himself was playing such good football. Now, they got the Chiefs coming into Tennessee. I don't think they're going to win that game. And if Jake Locker is playing, you goddamn right they would have had a shot to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Now, with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm, your guess is as good as mine as to what the Tennessee Titans will do. My money's on the Chiefs now without Jake Locker in the lineup, and that, to me, is a crying shame for the Tennessee Titans. So there were some things that transpired over this weekend that were a little off-putting. That was one of them. You also look at the play of Matt Flynn for the Raiders. Woo-wee, was that funky or what? There's a reason why he didn't get the starting job in Seattle and was beat out by Russell Wilson. There's a reason why he didn't get the starting job in Oakland and was beat out by Terrell Pryor, because this guy stinks. You saw it firsthand on Sunday, and they can't wait till Terrell Pryor comes back in Oakland. He makes a huge difference. Matt Flynn is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He was a backup in Green Bay for a reason, and I think that's his niche in this league as a backup. And honestly, looking at him on Sunday, I don't think he's very good at that either. So now you got to turn your attention to some teams that are playing some really good football. I underestimated the Seahawks on the road again. I am still not sold, however, but yet they got the job done. They won in comeback fashion, took it to overtime, got the win. you can't argue with results. And right now, the Seattle Seahawks are 4-0, 2-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. It hasn't been pretty on the road, but a win's a win's a win. And so the Seattle Seahawks are a good football team, and they look really good right now. How about the Kansas City Chiefs? Kansas City! How about those Chiefs? 4-0, another dominant performance over an NFC East team. I told you, just call them the NFC East Slayers. They've knocked down in consecutive weeks the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants, respectively. And really, this game was close for about 3 quarters, and then the Chiefs just opened it up. And they haven't been giving up points. They haven't been turning it over. They turned it over in this game, and they still won by 24 points. This is a scary group in Kansas City. I really like the brand of football these guys are playing right now. They're 4-0 in a dangerous group. Can anybody stop the Denver Broncos? Can anybody stop the Denver Broncos? Really? Seriously, can anybody stop the Denver Broncos? That's the question that everyone around the league is asking right now. We haven't seen a team this dominant since the 2007 New England Patriots. Now, will they suffer the same fate as those Patriots? Who knows? It's still early to be talking and putting them in the same breath with that football team. They went 16-0 in the regular season, but this Denver Broncos team has a great and very legitimate shot to do the same. They've had it on tilt all season long, and you know you have it going when your lowest point total of the season is 37 and we're through 4 games. They put up 52, and they did it with ease against the Philadelphia Eagles. My gosh, this Denver Broncos team is the truth. And right now the question is, can anybody slow these guys down on the offensive side of the football? You look at another team that's surprising folks right now, and it has to be the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Superchargers. Wow, 2-2. Who expected that after the first 4 games of the season? Hard to see this Chargers team being 2-2 right now. They had to go on the road to Philly. They had the Texans at home. Cowboys coming to their place as well. Easily, looking at the schedule, this team was supposed to be 1-3, 0-4 at this point. Instead, they've played really good football, and they're 2-2 on the season. And they're not afraid of anyone. Offensively, Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates are back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see those guys back and in rare form. We've missed you guys. Good to see you guys back. And they got a new friend with them. His name's Danny Woodhead. You know who he is? Well, the Cowboys certainly do after his performance on Sunday. 2 touchdown grabs and a handful of nice runs. This guy was everywhere. They have Darren Sproles back in San Diego. His name is Danny Woodhead, and they couldn't be happier because this offense is different because Phillip Rivers has a guy in Danny Woodhead that can get it done out of the backfield, catching the football, as well as running it on the ground, too. He's got targets out there to throw the football to. I mentioned Gates and Woodhead. In addition to that, he's got Brown. He's got Allen. He's got guys to get the football to, Royal. And so this San Diego Chargers offense is really good. And when they're clicking on all cylinders like they were on Sunday, they're going to be a hard team to beat. And not to mention they're playing defense as well. They were able to hold the Cowboys to 14 points offensively, even though the Cowboys scored 21. 7 of those points was a pick 6 off of Phillip Rivers. And so they're playing defense, and they scored 30 points. This team is scoring points. Phillip Rivers over 400 yards passing in this game. This is a dynamic offense, and they're going to be a scary team to look out for in that AFC West as well. So that's a dangerous division there. Chiefs 4-0, Broncos 4-0, San Diego Chargers 2-2, but playing some awfully good football. They're one Jake Locker to Justin Hunter heave away from being 3-1 on this season. Dangerous team in the San Diego Chargers as well. You got to be impressed with what Billy Ho has done for the Cleveland Browns. I talked about them already, but they're 2-2. They're atop that AFC North division as well. So what about the Detroit Lions scoring 40 against the previously undefeated Chicago Bears to take their record to 3-1 on the season, tying those Bears atop the NFC North division? You've got some teams that are playing some really good football right now, and put that Detroit Lions team in that category of teams playing good football to start this season out. Been very impressed with that Lions offense. They look really good right now, and that's going to be a team to reckon with too. If they can stay healthy and continue to play the way they've played on the defensive side of the football, Louis Delmas can stay healthy. If you can get guys like DeAndre Levy to continue to play at a high level, if you can get Ndamukong Suh to stay out of trouble and stay healthy, along with Nick Fairley, this is going to be a dangerous group defensively. And we know what they bring to the table offensively with Reginald Bush and heavens to Megatron. These guys are dangerous. Matthew Stafford is slinging it around. This is a group that you got to look out for as well. So the Packers got to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, because this Detroit Lions team is 3-1. These Chicago Bears are 3-1, and both of these teams look like legitimate contenders in this division. So a lot of good football over the weekend, a lot of surprises. How about the New England Patriots going into Atlanta, a place that I didn't think they would be able to go into after that soft schedule that they had and not looking impressive with that soft schedule, to go into Atlanta even though the Falcons are banged up. And I think that right now the struggles of the Falcons can be tied very closely to Roddy White's health. I don't care. Get it done. The Patriots went into the Georgia Dome, a place where Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, since Mike Smith has taken over, rarely lose. They went in and they laid the hammer down. I mean, this game at one point was 13-30 in the fourth quarter. So this team in this New England Patriots group, this team in the New England Patriots, you say what you want, and I'm always the first in line to count these guys out. Say what you want, they find ways to win. Is this a team that probably is going to be in contention to winning in the Super Bowl? Probably not. But I want to count them out of winning the AFC East, and you can't do that, because when a team is coached by Bill Belichick and quarterbacked by Tom Brady, they're always going to have a shot. So they went into Atlanta, into that Georgia Dome, and took care of business. And I, myself, did not expect that to go down the way it did on Sunday night. So a lot of surprises, a lot of things that I did expect. But look, that's the National Football League at its core right there. Parity at its best. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. You've heard it before. I'm here to tell you this again. The NFL is a week-to-week league, and you never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like life. I was once told by a wise man, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Same thing with the National Football League. It's a wild ride for 17 weeks in the regular season and then 4 more in the postseason. You never know what you're going to get in the National Football League. So, time for a mental snack. And the mental snack for today is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Greg Schiano and Josh Freeman. This situation seems to go from bad to worse to just downright ugly. First, we get the assassination of the player, Josh Freeman. I think they set him up for failure in Tampa Bay. They bench him. He's not active on Sunday. They haven't traded him yet. And now there are reports that, hey, this guy is in the league's substance abuse program. So now we're going from assassination of a player to defamation of character here in this situation. This thing is just ugly all the way around. And this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team isn't any good. And it's a shame, because I don't need to say that this team isn't any good, because this defense is actually really good. This offense is putrid, however. And I never thought that Josh Freeman was the problem. And looking at this team on Sunday, and yes, I know that it was the first start of rookie Mike Glennon's career. Still, this team looked anemic offensively. And Doug Martin isn't being helped by a rookie quarterback being in the game. Teams aren't going to allow Doug Martin, Doug E. Fresh, to beat them. If they're going to lose, it's going to be on the right arm of Mike Glennon. 27 carries for 45 yards states that point loud and clear, as that's exactly what the Arizona Cardinals did to Doug Martin and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushing attack. 27 carries, 45 yards. We're talking about a dental floss thin, less than 2 yards per carry, somewhere around 1.7, 1.8 yards per tote. That is absolutely disgusting. And I look at this team and I ask myself, is Greg Schiano losing this football team? Is he losing this football team? I looked at the bottom line yesterday and I saw that they released Ahmad Black, safety, and they released Kevin Ogletree. More Ogletree, please. Apparently, they don't want any more Ogletree in Tampa Bay. Less Ogletree, apparently. And so he's gone, and he's played bad this year. He deserved to be cut. He hasn't played good football at all. If they wanted a guy to underachieve in the slot, they could have left Tyquan Underwood in that position. And so I'm asking the question, does Greg Schiano still have the pulse of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team? And if not, is he on the verge of being fired at the end of this season? Who knows? I got a buddy of mine who's a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and he blames Greg Schiano for the demise of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He feels like Schiano ran Aqib Talib out of town. A lot of people are talking about him as one of the best corners in the league. He ran Michael Bennett out of town or didn't try to re-sign him back on his football team. You look at another guy that I thought should have been back in Roy Miller. He's no longer here. And look, this defense is fine. This defense is absolutely fine. But these were guys that were staples of this football team that are no longer here. And so I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about this? To me, it's early, but it feels bad in Tampa Bay right now. But it's early. It's way too early to start pointing fingers and saying that someone's lost a team or not. Seems like he's in the danger zone right now. But it's early. It's only 4 games. They're on a bye week. They need to iron some things out during this bye week and get it together and come back after the bye and play rejuvenated football. If they continue to lose, I don't know. We could be talking about an early exit for Greg Schiano. And sometimes we figure it out very quickly with these college coaches that they're just not panned out for the National Football League. So we'll see if Greg Schiano is another name that you can add to the pantheon, to that list of failed college coaches that tried to get it done in the National Football League that realized, hey, I'm not cut out for this thing. I'll go back to the college ranks where I can reign supreme over the youngins. So we'll see. But it's a long season. I just hope for his sake, for that roster's sake, for the fan base's sake, that this thing has gotten as ugly as it's going to get, because this Josh Freeman saga has been ugly. It's been a black eye. The performance on the field from the offense has been another black eye. So you got 2 black eyes right now. And then this record, this win-loss record, is another huge cloud over this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. So that one's a bloody nose. So you got 2 black eyes, a bloody nose, and potentially a fat lip could be coming next if they're not careful in Tampa Bay. So now time for the shameless plug, and we'll get out of here. Visit the site profootballcentral.com. Plenty of content for everyone. You like the Indianapolis Colts? There's something for you on this site. You like the Oakland Raiders? There's something for you on this site. You like the 49ers? There's something for you on this site, whether it be print articles, a podcast, whatever you're looking for. It's here on the site, profootballcentral.com. So for the rest of the profootballcentral.com staff, and myself included, I thank you for joining me here on the Tuesday edition of PFC Weekly. I want to see you back here Thursday when we break down Thursday Night Football, among other things. I'll see you back here Thursday. And remember, we are Pro Football Central. See you next time. Have a good one.